What is going on, everybody? So one thing we're going to mess with today in Fusion 360 is boundary fill. This is something I utilize almost every day with building tanks, and a lot of people ask me, how do I go about figuring out capacity? So we're going to do a quick video on it, and I'll show you some of the ins and outs. So typically speaking, this is what I'm working with, which is a custom aluminum tank that I'm building in the shop. And this is the really nice thing about Fusion 360 is I can design it in Fusion and I can know exactly what this thing will hold to a maximum level. And that's the really nice part about using this function in Fusion 360. So let's get into it. All right, so before we jump into using boundary fill on a tank, let's do something that's kind of a fun little project everybody can follow along with, and you can kind of see how this functions, and then you can apply it to a tank. So the first thing we're gonna go ahead and draw up is this golden goblet that I've been messing with for fun. This gives you a pretty basic idea of the boundary fill function and how to utilize it. All right, so we're gonna do this fairly quickly. This is a profile of a cup that I drew, and we're actually gonna use the revolve function to create this goblet, cup, whatever you want to call it. So we'll go to finish sketch. This is our profile. Then we're gonna go ahead and here, we're gonna hit revolve. Okay, we have our profile already selected, and I click on your axis, be the center point. Fully revolved, new body. Yeah. Click on that. We're going to go ahead and make our sketch disappear. So click on the little eyeball there. Go up here to body or right click this. We're going to go to appearance. We're going to make this a golden goblet. This will be kind of fun. There we go. All right. There's our golden goblet. Okay. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to set a plane right on top of this cup. You're going to click on that, right click, offset plane. You're going to go to negative 0.5. Okay, so now we're at negative 0.5. So that's going to be a ½ inch down from the top of the glass. So that's going to be our fill point we're going to start with. So now we'll jump into the boundary fill function. So you go up here to create boundary fill. Okay, under the selection tools, you're going to select this plane and the body of the cup. Now, when we did that construction plane and we brought it down from the top, this is where boundary fill and fusion can get a little bit confusing because you're like, well, which one of these little dots do I need to click on? The top one, the middle one, the bottom one. Okay, so what you do, you want this one right here. You want the one that's below the fill line that you've set up with a construction plane. You do not want the one above it, and you do not want the one in the actual stem of the cup itself. So we'll go to hit OK, and there is our fill. And it's on a body of its own. We'll go over here to the body. We're going to rename this capacity. Hit enter. And this is our cup's capacity. And then this plane here you can rename to fill amount. Oop. Enter. All right, so there we go. Now you have your fill amount and you have your capacity. Okay, so if we want to change our fill amount, we just go ahead and right click on that. We're going to say edit feature. And we can bring this up to 0, and that is the very top of the cup. The reason I bring it down from the very top is it's easier to view in the boundary fill function to which dot you need to click on. Sometimes that little dot it can be tricky depending on what you're working with. Hit OK. So now we want to know the capacity of this. So we're going to right click on this and you're going to go to properties. Okay, so right now you can see we have 81 cubic inches of water. So if we bring up our calculator here, we just say 81. I'm going to divide this by 231. 0.35 of a gallon. Now, if you want to know in ounces, take that times 128, and there you go. We have 44.88 ounces in this cup right now. And that's a pretty simple way to start messing with boundary fill. That where what you're working with has to be sealed. So we want the body shown again. There's our body and our golden goblet all filled up. Now let's jump into a tank. Okay, so now we are inside the actual model of a pretty basic tank. Now, the one thing I will say when I'm telling people to do this or teaching people, create a easy sketch that is the outside profile of the tank and accommodate your wall thickness of material in there as well when you extrude it. So we'll go ahead and finish that. And that is an easy way to create an outside profile for a tank. So the exact same rules apply to this tank that we would have used in the cup portion. We're going to go to this tank end, click on it, right click. We're going to say offset plane. And because we just want to seal this one off, we just leave this value at 0. We would have hit OK. This is already done on this model. Same with the cope in the tank. We have to seal that off, as well as the end of the tank. We also created the same exact plane for how much the tank is filled to. So we're going to lower this down to say 9 inches. Okay, so that is what the tank is filled to currently in its current shape. So we're going to go up here to capacity, which is our boundary fill. Right click, go to properties, and you can see we have 7722.378 cubic inches of water. So we'll bring up our calculator. We'll go ahead and clear this one out. So we're going to go 7722.378. Okay, we got that in there. We're going to divide this by 231. I'm going to divide it by 231. Now, 231 represents there is 231 cubic inches of water in a gallon. And we will just hit equal. So we're sitting at 33.43 gallons currently. And that is a pretty easy way to just see where your tank lands that you're designing. And this is something I use pretty much every day in the shop when I'm designing a fuel tank or any kind of tank. So I really hope you like this tutorial. It's been kind of fun to do. Thanks for watching.